Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts and welcome to another Simple Stamping Saturday. And this time I'm using the Beauty Abounds stamp set. It goes with the, what are they called? I would have it on here somewhere, Butterfly Beauty dies. Although I'm not using any butterflies in today's project, I'm not using these dies. You can see the gaps that I am using. So I'm using the 2 bokeh dots and the sentiment, our friendship isn't one big thing, it's a million little things. So let me show you what I'm making. So this is the simple card. We're using just 3 ink pads, which are soft suede, mint macaron and soft seafoam. And it's as simple as it gets. All we need to do is stamp our sentiment, stamp our bokeh dots, and of course I've decorated the envelopes. So let's get started, and then I will show you how I've stepped it up. So I start with a Whisper White note card and envelope. Make sure you know which way your base is going to... Ooh, I've got a back of a dimensional, what a surprise. Make sure you know which way your fold is going to go, because obviously you want to know the inside or the outside. You want the dip to be on the outside and the lump to be on the inside. I will need a piece of scrap paper because I'm going to be stamping the envelope. In fact, I'll need 2 bits of scrap paper. But let's start with the outside sentiment. So I've mounted this not at all straight on my block, so let's sort that out. So this is Our Friendship Isn't One Big Thing. So ink that up. And it's quite difficult to see where the centre of the card is for positioning. So let me just bring in a ruler so I can see where the dip is. And it also means you can see where the dip is. So I know where the centre is. But I don't want to bend my card until I've done particularly this bit of stamping, because it's much easier to stamp on a surface that is flat than one that's wafting about. So that's the outside, and then turning it so that you know that this is the outside. I'm going to do the same thing again on the inside, and It's a Million Little Things. Stamp that. So that's those 2 done. That's all I need the soft suede for. And then let's go back over and grab my 2 bokeh dots. I'm going to do the large bokeh dots in soft seafoam and the small bokeh dots in mint macaron. And I'm going to be stamping off some of the mint macaron. So I'm just going to have that there just in case I need to go back to do some of the stamping off, and I'll show you what I mean by that if we get to that point. So large bokeh dot, and I am going to just stamp right over the top. I'm really not worried that I'm covering up the sentiment because it is quite a large sentiment. So I don't mean large, I mean dark sentiment. So it's not a problem. Just make sure you don't come over the score line. This is the score line just there. So that's just inside the score line. And then with your mint macaron, come in and kind of add, and you can do second generation. And all I'm doing is just adding anywhere that I fancy it. Turn your stamp every now and again. I'm going to do a bit of stamping over. I think I fancy a dark one over here. And I think that's probably it. Or maybe something up here. But second generation. So that's the trouble, you see. You add one thing, you need to add another. So that's it. That is our card. Don't know why I've just close that. So just fold your card in half and burnish. I would highly recommend, if you're a new stamper, that if you can afford it, you get yourself a decent bone folder, because it really does make a difference to how you finish your card off. So I've got my envelope, and I'm just grabbing another scrap of paper because we need a scrap there and a scrap there, and apparently lots on the floor. And then all I'm going to do is, again, soft seafoam on the large bokeh dots. And if I've done that, if I wanted to do second generation, which I don't in soft seafoam, you would need to re-ink. And I'll show you why when I come in with the mint macaron. And it is worth holding the edge down so that you've got a flatter surface to aim at. And I like not stamping in the middle too much. I think it looks better if you go off the edge. It looks more mint for some reason. Right, so mint macaron, if I'm going in the middle and then to the edge, that's fine. If I'm going to, let's go there, to the edge, I would re-ink even if I wanted second generation, because, can you see, maybe if I bring that up, is it going to focus? Can you see here that there's that line? And that's because where I stamped, there's a gap because of the ink, of the paper. You don't get a clean stamp. So in yesterday's video, I was doing a similar technique, and I really had to press hard to not get this fuzzy line, because it was this piece that I wanted well stamped. So if you have a look at yesterday's video, Thursday's video, then you'll see what I mean. So let's go full strength there, half strength there, half strength there, full, half, half. Right, okay, so that is my envelope for my simple stamping envelope. So we've got our simple twice, because there's the one I prepared earlier. So those are our simple cards. Really easy. 3 ink colours and you're away. And they go really nicely together. Let me then show you. So I've stepped this one up by adding the Subtles cardstock. This I've stamped and punched with the 2-inch circle punch. So I've got mint macaron soft seafoam, so I'm mirroring. I've added some of the mint macaron textile ribbon, which is in the annual catalogue. And then I've added some iridescent sequins, and obviously I've stamped in the middle. Simple as that. And then this is just matted flat onto my card base. This I've mounted up on dimensionals. And I've inked the edge of my circle with the soft seafoam, just to help tie it in a bit and make it look less stark. And then for my Avid version, this is heat embossed. Now I did quite a while ago a Top Tip Tuesday on heat embossing in any colour. And basically you ink up with Versamark first, and before you stamp you add the coloured ink. It won't harm your coloured ink pad to take your Versamark and pop your stamp onto it. But it then means that the Versamark is uppermost. Throw some clear embossing powder over the top and heat it, and you get this coloured embossing powder. So it's lovely and shiny. So this is die cut with one of the layering circles, and then soft seafoam on the scalloped circle underneath. The same ribbon, same basic layout. The rhinestones, I've taken my dark mint macaron blend and just painted it, and that turns your rhinestones to the colour you want. I tried with the soft seafoam, it's just too light, you don't see the differentiation. I actually added 2 layers of mint macaron, so do it once, let it dry, do it again, and then you get a much deeper colour. So I've got rhinestones in place of the sequins, and then I've popped my mat onto my card base, so you've got double layer matting. So that's that. Now, as ever, I don't do dimensions for Simple Stamping Saturday. When I list the products, I will list them in the order in which I introduce them. So it'll be the note cards and the inks, then we'll add the subtles, cardstock, the ribbon and the sequins and the punch, and then I'll add the rhinestones, the blend, the Versamark, etc, etc. So it'll all be listed, but it does mean you'll see quite a lot of products, but you don't need all of them for any of the projects. Hope that made sense. I hope you enjoy today's Simple Stamping Saturday. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you don't already subscribe, please do consider subscribing by clicking that button in the bottom right hand corner. You can get notifications if you hit the bell for whenever I post a video. If you don't hit the bell, then you'll just get it coming up in your subscribed list. Dimensions, no, not dimensions, photographs will be on my website, which is linked below, and it's the associated blog post. There's a link to my online store and also to join up. Do remember the extra promotion finishes at the end of August. If you've got bonus days vouchers, you've got till the end of August to use those. Don't lose out on free product. Paper shares. Still taking orders for paper shares. This is what the paper share looks like. There's a 6x6 of every pattern paper, and for the 12x12 you get 2 6x6. For the 6x6 pads you get 1 of each design, because there are 12 designs in each of the packs. The 6x6 has 12 designs. The 12x12 has 6 designs. You get 12 out of each pack, cut at 6x6. This is what all the ribbon looks like. There's masses. You get a 1/4 share of each of the reels of ribbon. Most of them are 10 yards long. The only one that isn't is this one, which is 5 yards long, but otherwise you get 2.5 meters of each. So there you are. Information on that is over on my website, and I'll link that from this blog post. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!